International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL and Agricultural Development Bank.
Coming up on International Trade Focus. Gold Statement event celebrates Ghana's heritage, promotes sustainability and economic growth in precious minerals sector. And later, Ghana-German Economic Association Forum highlights business opportunities and partners between the two nations.
On this week's episode, we spotlight Gold Statement, an annual event in Ghana initiated by Rapport Services and partners. Now, the Gold Statement event seeks to serve as a gathering ground for stakeholders, including policymakers, to address the critical aspects of sustainable mining and the enhancement of precious minerals value. Furthermore, the event encompasses a conference, jewelry exhibitions, and a fashion show, all of which provide a platform to showcase the extraordinary craftsmanship of Ghanaian artisans. My name is Anaspio and this is International Trade Focus. International Trade Focus is brought to you by Gold, Good Energy, ADB, Truly, Agric and more, Public Elegance and Pediasi Valley Resort.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New Gold Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Are you an importer or exporter? Do you need quick financing at the best rate on the market? ADB has good news for you. Walk into any agricultural development bank location nationwide for that solution to all your trade financing needs. ADB offers you pre-financing of exports and imports, post-shipment credit facilities, bank guarantees, the issuance and acceptance of letters of credit, documentary bills for collection, outward documentary collection. Enjoy free advisory services from our well-trained, dedicated trade officers. Exporters of agricultural products are encouraged to take advantage of this great service. For further enquiries, call us on 0302 210 210. ADB, making trade finance easy. ADB, Truly Agric and more.
What is all this? Why can't we ever seem to get this right? Our meetings are always chaotic, and that's why we are never able to plan efficiently. I have to do something now.
Yes, don't we all love solutions? The Pediasi Valley Resort welcomes you to the stunning surrounds of the Eastern Highlands of Ghana for your next business meeting, seminar, retreat, or conference.
All their venues are equipped with the latest audiovisual technology as well as their very able conference and banqueting staff. At Pediasi Valley Resort, you will work in peace and relaxation, coupled with scenes and adventures at the Bree Botanical Gardens, the Art Village, and many more. If you find yourself in my situation, remember, Pediasi Valley Resort is your #1 solution. Pediasi Valley Resort. Live life.
Do you want to know more about the Gold Statement event? Then stay tuned as we bring you our focal point segment. For over a decade, the Gold Statement event has been a unique gathering that goes beyond being a mere exhibition, conference, or jewelry show. It celebrates Ghana's rich heritage. The event over the years has served as an incubator of sustainability and a catalyst for economic growth. Fundamentally, the Gold Statement event symbolizes unity by bringing together stakeholders from every corner of the industry, from miners and policymakers to jewelers and environmentalists. It's a platform where diverse perspectives converge to serve a common goal: the responsible, sustainable development of Ghana's precious minerals. The core focus of Gold Statement is the promotion of value addition to Ghana's sustainably mined precious minerals. Beyond extracting and exporting raw minerals, the event emphasizes the importance of processing these minerals locally. This approach not only creates higher value products, but also bolsters Ghana's economy and provides employment opportunities for its people. The Gold Statement event, in its ongoing efforts to promote value addition within the precious minerals sector, will shine a spotlight on the art of lapidary. Lapidary involves the intricate work of cutting, shaping, and polishing gemstones, transforming them into exquisite pieces of jewelry. By featuring lapidary at the event, Gold Statement underscores the importance of this craft in enhancing the value of Ghana's sustainably mined precious minerals and in advancing the country's jewelry making industry. The conference segment of the event is where policymakers, industry leaders, and experts convene to chart the course of the precious minerals sector. Discussions revolve around policies that drive sustainable development, ensuring that the wealth derived from Ghana's earth benefits the nation's present and future. One of the defining features of the Gold Statement event is its unwavering commitment to sustainability. Ghana's bountiful gold resources are celebrated, but the event also underscores the importance of responsible mining practices. Here, sustainable extraction methods and environmental conservation take center stage. Amid the serious deliberations, the Gold Statement event is climaxed by a jewellery show to celebrate the artistry and creativity of Ghanaian jewelers and goldsmiths. This year's Gold Statement event is set to take place from November 23rd to November 25th. Join us on our in-depth segment as we speak with Join us on our in-depth segment as we speak with Madam Judina Kokreham, the CEO of Rapport Services, initiators of the Gold Statement event. She's going to tell us what to expect at this year's Gold Statement event. Our in-depth segment comes up shortly. Don't go away. Madam Judina Kokreham is the driving force behind the Gold Statement Annual Conference, Exhibition and Jewelry Show. Today, she joins us as our esteemed guest, and we are eager to delve deeper into the event, exploring its significance and the pivotal role that she plays. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. It's always nice to have a chat with you on the work we're doing on Gold Statement. You know, it's such a pleasure to talk to you.
For this interview, we would want to focus, proper on the Gold Statement event, so how it started and all of that. So can you quickly give us a background, the Gold Statement project? I know that you are like a proponent of this whole thing. So what inspired you? What made you say that, okay, let me start doing something like this for the sector?
I've worked with the industry, the mining industry, since 1988. And I realized that we were just sending our gold raw. Growing up as a young lady, we had goldsmiths who were working on jewelry pieces for various occasions, events in Ghana, like people's outdooring ceremonies, engagement ceremonies, marriage ceremonies, and so on. And it appeared as if that art was dying, and it needed to be revived. So I developed the concept of Gold Statement. Number one, to introduce the Ghanaians back to the made in Ghana jewelry, because the focus had shifted to Chinese-made, what they call kupa and all those things. When we were growing up, they were called Abyssinia, and people who really couldn't afford anything were the ones wearing it. Now, you would find that people who couldn't afford gold were going for these kupa because they didn't have access to goldsmiths. They didn't know how to contact them, and so on. So I thought, let's bring everybody together. Let's bring the goldsmiths, the young jewelers back on the stage so people would notice them. Let Ghanaians go back to their roots of using our jewelers and our goldsmiths. When I talk about goldsmiths, I'm talking about the indigenous ones, the ones who do local type of designs. And then the jewelers are the ones who are very modern and use both local and modern designs in their artwork. And that is what actually made me think that Ghanaians needed to go back to what they knew, what we're practicing, instead of all these foreign-made, very cheap type of jewelry that everybody was wearing. Or those who can afford it and were quite well off will then go to Dubai and buy items at very extravagant costs when they could use the money here. That was the whole idea, to bring Ghanaians back to their roots, to admire what we have, which we had admired over the years, and that love for our own crafts, our own jewelry was getting lost by cheap imitations from China, etc. And I believe that it was a good it was a good thing, or it was a good idea that came to me, and which I have fostered and nurtured up to now.
So since 1988, you say that's been like a really long time.
Yeah, in 1980 I went into the industry.
You went into the industry
as an employee
in 1988.
working for a mining company.
But the Gold Statement project itself.
We started doing exhibitions from 2001, 2002. But Gold Statement, the name, we gave the name to our exhibitions and our conferences. 2007, we gave the term, we termed it Gold Statement, because we had been working along the way, and we realized that we needed to lay emphasis on exactly what we were saying about our gold and the way it was going out in the raw form. So we were making a statement on gold that we needed to add value. When people hear Gold Statement, it makes them sit up. What are they talking about? Then they start discussing and realize that this is the whole, idea of the big project that we are undertaking. So
certainly, it's been over a decade since.
Oh yes, we celebrated our 15th anniversary last year, and we are in the 16th.
We're in the 16th, right? When it comes to Ghana, when it comes to the minerals industry or the mineral sector in Ghana, one challenge that we face, and it's a challenge that we talk about all the time, but I find it interesting how we talk about it a lot, but it seems as though very little is being done to, address or tackle this particular challenge, and that is the challenge of adding value to raw minerals that are exported in Ghana before, to raw minerals that are mined in the country before we send it to the international market. So since the inception of Gold Statement, I know there's been exhibitions, conferences, jewelry shows, and all of that. How would you say that it has impacted in, adding value to minerals that are mined in the country before we send to the international market?
Well, it has impacted a lot, because the new policy is that as much as possible, don't take anything raw outside the country. With the big mines like the Newmonts and Goldfields and so on, they already have their buyers outside the country, and they've made their arrangements already. But even then, government is saying, leave 30% for us. We would buy it and then refine it for our treasury, for our, to be part of our stock to keep. And then with the small scale sector, as much as possible, even now, they can only export through PMMC. And quite a bit of a percentage is being used for the gold for oil at the moment. But the whole idea is that we've asked, the Jewelers Association have asked the government to put aside 5% for the jewelry industry, so we can turn it into jewelry pieces and other works of art to trade in within Ghana and outside Ghana, West Africa and beyond.
So now let's talk about Gold Statements 2023. That's coming up November next month. So what are attendees to expect from the exhibition, from the conference, and then finally from the jewelry show?
Well, at the moment, we have also added the gemstone factor. You know, in Ghana, we have a lot of gemstones that people didn't even pay any attention to. For the past few years, we've been concentrating on the gemstones to sort of add it to the jewelry we are making. So gemstone cutting, polishing has become a big topic that we are working on. In fact, we just built a small workshop on this premises, and we had sponsors to help us build the workshop. We have sponsors who are helping us to get the equipment. We should set up all the equipment by the end of this month. And we have trainees coming in from 1st of November. We have trainees from the women in mining who are going to come in, Ghana National Association of Small Scale Miners. They are bringing 10. Women in mining are bringing 11. Then Nels Foundation, they're bringing 5 to train them in the art of cutting and polishing of stones. What we realized very recently is that the small-scale miners throw away a lot of stones that they don't have value. And recently we asked the General Secretary of the Small-Scale Miners Association to bring any stones that he had put aside, because we had asked him earlier, put some aside and bring it to us. And when he brought it, we realized that it was a sort of a crystal that could be, you know, cut and polished. We're all very excited. And that is why we think that although we have very good jewelers working on gold and silver, we need to add lapidary to it as well. So we're going to start with a few, about 25 young ladies, training them in batches, and then from there we'll see how it goes. A place like Laboni Secondary School, they have a very thriving jewelry department, so we're writing to them so that we make an arrangement for them to send a few of their students here for training on cutting and polishing. There's nothing like that in Ghana. We don't have a workshop, we have nothing like that in Ghana. And Gold Statement wants to bring that out, you know, let people know that these are also part of what makes up jewelry. And the best way is to start training people who work on that. When you go to South Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, it's something they do. It's part and parcel of what they do, but we don't have it here. And Gold Statement is bringing it on board.
So that is sort of the new like addition to this year's Gold Statement.
Yes, the lapidary.
The lapidary. But that seems to be something that you talk about a lot. I believe last year I heard mention of that. So briefly explain to us what that is, the lapidary.
It's the art of cutting, polishing of stones, and then once you do that, then you add, you insert it into a piece of gold or silver to make it a piece of jewelry. Our young jewelers will be working with the young lapiders, or people who are going to be training lapidary. They're going to work together going forward. In fact, this year's Gold Statement is going to have a lot of different stones, in the jewelry that we are going to showcase. There'll be a lot of, there'll be agate, there'll be amethyst, there'll be rose quartz, there'll be garnet. Any stone that we can find in Ghana, we turn it into a piece of jewelry. We'll add it into our jewelry, either silver or gold. We shall add it to it. Apart from the fact that we'll have just pure gold jewelry or silver jewelry, we have a lot of gemstones as well in our jewelry. This year, that's what we plan to do, yes.
So with everything that we've talked about, clearly the involvement of policymakers cannot be overemphasized. So in the past, how has their involvement been in the Gold Statement projects and currently, what is the involvement as far as policymakers are concerned?
Well, the thing about policy is that you can have the policy, if you don't implement it, it's just there. And unfortunately, for the past so many years, there's been no interest in value addition to gold. We're just happy to just ship it out. It's embarrassing. I always say, when I repeat this, I feel so embarrassed. But now the awareness is there. Everybody realizes you can't do that because it's not bringing you any value. You're just sending things raw. People are paying cheap for it. If you add a little value to it, we get more out of it. So there is a review of the parts of the minerals and mining and minerals policy, and I think value addition is playing very strongly in there. For the conference itself, we're having the CEO of Minerals Commission to come and give us a talk on the new laws that are being put in place. We have the Professor Amankwa from the UMAT, who will give us a talk on the role of academia, because they are now setting up a jewellery training center at UMAT, University of Mines and Technology in Takwa, and they are doing it with the support of MIF, Minerals Income Investment Fund. So you can see that now the prospect of value addition is growing bigger and bigger. USD, they've always had a department for metals and so on and so forth. And now that UMAT is also coming on board, more and more people will be trained, and we would have to give them the space to do their work, to prepare their art forms, their jewelry and so on. And we have to allow them and help them to market it here and abroad. So once the people are there, they need to market their stuff. You need to help them. So that is where private sector comes in, government comes in, and we open the gates for them to be able to prosper.
Right, if you just joined us, you're watching International Trade Focus, and this is our in-depth segment. The conversation on what to expect on this year's Gold Statesman's event continues with Madam Judina Kokreyam after this break. Don't go away.
What is all this? Why can't we ever seem to get this right? Our meetings are always chaotic, and that's why we are never able to plan efficiently. I have to do something now.
Yes, don't we all love solutions? The Jurassic Valley Resort welcomes you to the stunning surrounds of the Eastern Highlands of Ghana for your next business meeting, seminar, retreat, or conference.
All their venues are equipped with the latest audiovisual technology, as well as their very able conference and banqueting staff. At Jurassic Valley Resort, you will work in peace and relaxation, coupled with scenes and adventures at the Bree Botanical Gardens, the Art Village, and many more. If you find yourself in my situation, remember, Pediasi Valley Resort is your #1 solution. Pediasi Valley Resort. Live life.
Ohima, no be me are taking number first.
Are you? Didn't you tell you say take your number give me?
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really?
Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me talk mama what?
Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Fuel up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
I'm on the bus here. I try to cram up patrol. My short to fool, Mr. Wa. If you let me tank us on me bow.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for na buajungwa mami.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy.
A warm welcome back. Now, leading the Gold Statements annual event is Madam Judy Nakwo-Graham. She's our guest on our Index segments today. She'll continue sharing with us what to look forward to at this year's Gold Statement event. One fascinating thing, one thing I love about the whole Gold Statement project or the event is the climax, the jewelry show. So how does this tie in, like, with the whole event at the end of the day? What is the significance of this jewelry show?
Well, when we do the jewelry show, that is the what we call the catwalk or the red carpet, and get all the ladies dressed up in the jewelry, it gives a sort of an added oomph to the whole event, because people come, they have dinner, they watch all these ladies dressed up in the various attires and then jewelry, and then people can actually have the feel of pieces that look very extravagant, that they can decide that, look, this is extravagant, but I want to have something like this. Those pieces are meant for the catwalk. They are not meant for sale. But we have had people who have said, oh, I like this. It's very extravagant, but this is what I want. So they will order it. All the pieces that we show at the exhibition, they are all samples. If you want anything, just tell the jeweler that, I like this, take their number, they'll do it to your specification, because sometimes you see a piece of jewelry, probably the pendant is a cross, but you want a cross and a heart together. So you tell the jeweler, order, and they'll do exactly as you wish. That is what we want to promote, for people to have unique things. So it's not just everybody has the same thing. That's what is different about Ghana. Because we have very good jewelers and goldsmiths, you can have something that is unique. It's done for you, you wear it, and you can be sure nobody else has it. Sometimes when I go for conferences and so on, I take pieces with me. When I'm dressed up, everybody wants to take a photo of me. They look at the jewelry and they say, oh, where did it come from? I know this is handmade. I went to South Africa recently for the Jewelers Conference. And as soon as I came out of the lift, there were 3 young men, they are jewelers, coming in. They said, oh, madam, I know the pieces you are wearing are handmade. I said, how do you know? I said, we are also jewelers, so we can tell immediately they're handmade. Where do you come from? So I told them, they took my card. These are the things that we can boast about in Ghana. Not many people can do it. I went to an exhibition not long ago in Lusaka, and they are good in stones, but they are not jewelers. They are all coming for the conference, this year. And this is what we can export. Our jewelry, making, how good we are, and training people, and so on. So this sort of cooperation is what we are building up. This year also, African Minerals Development Center are going to be here. And they are the ones who are promoting all the minerals, adding value to all the minerals in Africa. And they are going to be here. We met them, and they invited me to Lusaka, and they are going to come and join us as well to see what Ghanaian jewelers are doing. So it's a big challenge, and our jewelers are all busy working towards that. That's what we are working on at the moment.
The Gold Statement event has been going on for some time now. There are exhibitions, there are conferences, but particularly let's focus on the exhibitions. So have you had any success stories from any jeweler that has been at the exhibition, getting this huge deal with an international partner, or even some local partnership that has the potential to boost their operations? Have you had any success?
Yes, a few of our girls, and I don't want to mention names, they have had orders from Europe, from America, handmade, and people even come down just to pick their jewelry, because sometimes we have a bit of difficulty exporting. And I think the president of the Jewelers Association has, complained about that severally, that when you're exporting, it's talking about...
Is it the standards?
The standards are all right, because we're working with Standards Board. But they would rather you buy there, you know what I mean? You know how it is. When we are importing things like cubic zirconia and so on, that's okay. But when you have the finished product using your own gemstones, your own gold and everything, Then they talk about money laundering issues and so on. They bring, you know how it is. They'll do anything to frustrate you. And that is something that we're talking to export promotion about. How can they help? How can they help us and so on? We are still in talks with them, and we hope these things can be solved, sooner than later.
Yeah. So in terms of partnership, there are several success stories.
Yes, oh yes, there are.
You mentioned some of the speakers. Let's go over them again. Speakers that we are to expect at the event.
Yeah, well, the Vice Chancellor of the University of UMAT, the University of Mines and Technology, he's come to give a talk, do a presentation. We expect there's a lady from Oxfam, Alaka, and she works with women in mining. She's also coming all the way from Kenya. She'll give a talk. We are expecting Prof. Dodu, Ghana Standards Authority, to give a talk. Minerals Commission would definitely give a talk. And we're working also with the Geological Survey, because now a lot of the work that we are going to do, gemstone and so on and so forth, they will help direct us, where to find these gemstones and how to go hunt them. We've even put together a team to go gemstone hunting. When the time comes, I invite you. So we'll be going to the Volta and Uti regions where you can find these things and do some hunting, bring it down to our little workshop, which I'll show you, and start working on them. We've got a stock already, but we need more so that when we start, we don't have to start and stop. Yeah.
So last year we spoke with some of the exhibitors at the event, and like majority of them were speaking about the fact that sourcing raw material can be very challenging, and then also they mentioned technology. A lot of them also spoke about standards, that the standards can sometimes be cumbersome, so they don't really know what to do at each point in time. And they even called for a merge of these standard institutions. So if it's Ghana Standards Authority and GEP, the relevant institutions merging to make their business easier for them. I just want your remarks on these.
That is very true. That is why we're working very closely with Ghana Standards Board. You were at our launch, and in fact, the launch was the goal statement was launched by Prof. Dodu. Yeah, he's working very closely with us and helping our jewelers. The other little issues, we're trying to solve them, step by step. The availability of material. We're working with Ghana National Association of Small Scale Miners now. There's a partnership. So in fact, this year's goal statement.
But first of all, the availability, what's the challenge there?
Well, it's the price. It's there. The small scale miners, they are selling, it's there. But if you have a partnership where they understand that, look, this is something we are building together. So we'll give you a discount, or we give it to you, do the work, and then we share the profits. We need to have some sort of collaboration. And I think we've gone quite far on it. Not everybody understands it, because a small scale miner, he's got his gold, he's selling. Anybody will come and buy, he doesn't really care. But you need to educate them that, look, this thing, we are working together on it. Help us, we'll help you, and let's move it forward. Because you can't continue forever sending raw gold. How much do you make out of it? It's a matter of education. It's a matter of consistent, education, drumming it down, letting people understand that we can make it or break or make it together. We need to work together. And luckily, the executive of the association are quite, upbeat. They are into it. They understand what is happening, and I must say, at the moment, government is also wide awake. There are a lot of things you can't send out raw. You've got to add value to it. Yeah, and the president has said so over and over again. You have to add value. So that's where we are.
Right. So one challenge that they also talked about, some of the exhibitors at last year's exhibition talked about, was technology. Technology to polish, and technology, to make jewelry that meets international standards. So what was the update?
Well, luckily for us, as I mentioned earlier, we have a workshop for lapidary. It was sponsored by one of our sponsors. The furniture and so on will be put in by next week. The benches for work, and then the machines will come in by the end of October. These are all high-end machines, given to us by our sponsors, and they are the same ones who have agreed to help us buy extra equipment for fine-tuning our jewelry. So it's in the works. We are working on it, and when people promise you things, they will do it, but at their own time. And my jewelers understand that, and they are patient, and they know that as we go along, all these things will fall in place. Some of them have already started falling in place, so we know the rest will come through.
Right. So we know that it's a huge advantage, for want of a better word, to tap into the diaspora in some of these, doings or some of these events and all of that. So what's the status on that? Do you have any platform, or do you have any room for the diaspora to sort of participate in this event?
Yeah, actually, Gold Statement since last year has been endorsed by the Beyond the Return, and we are on all their social media outlets for people to know, and we're expecting quite a few people this year to come and join us in what we are doing. They've touted Gold Statement as one of the best events that people have to get involved in.
So finally, we are about wrapping up, but your final words before we go. What should we expect at this year's Gold Statement?
This year, we're bringing friends from around Africa to join us. West Africa, South Africa, Eastern Africa to join us. We are also bringing on board a lot of gemstones, which we hadn't done earlier in the past. We are now going to there'll be a lot of jewelry with gemstones from Ghana and from other parts of Africa. So that is a plus. We also have collaboration with Women in Mining, with Ghana National Small Scale Miners Association, so we can only get better and better as the years come along. And with government, well, there's a new policy on value addition, and we are hoping that it will be implemented, because if you have a policy and you're not implementing it, then it's not helping you. So we hope it will be implemented and it will be, to our good.
And that was Madam Judy Graham, CEO of Rapport Services, initiators of the Gold Statement event. We discussed what to expect at this year's Gold Statement event. And that does it for our in-depth segment. News and events comes up shortly after this break. Don't go away. And it's a wrap for this week's edition of International Trade Focus. Join us same time next week for some more on international trade-related activities here in Ghana and beyond. International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOL, Good Energy, ADB, Truly, Agric, and more. Public Elegance and Pediasi Valley Resort. My name is Anna Spio. Bye-bye.